Hello everyone, welcome to March Calgary Real Estate Market Update. I'm Uros Markovic, a realtor with Real Broker, and I'll be your host today. Calgary just recorded the best-selling February of all times. But the question remains, are we in this for the long haul? Our real estate board reported sales continue to surge as listings rise. So let me take some time to make sense of this for you and give you my advice on what to do with it. Yes, once again, we have marked another notch in the record books. We just outsold the best February of all times, and not just by a little bit, but by 25%. We saw this by significant contributions across all property types: single family, semi-detached, apartments, and row. And we saw this across pretty much all price ranges. The hottest portion of our market was 600K to 1 million segment, but you know, all ships are rising with the tide right now. Now, big numbers are great, but they don't really provide you with a real context. As represented by this graph, you will see how far ahead we truly are. We are truly a unicorn in a comparison to our recent history here in Greater Calgary. Now, at the same time as our new highs has been recorded in the history books, our active inventory remains near all-time lows. Meaning, while we have the most demand to buy houses, those buyers have a very small amount of selection to draw from. But the reduction in properties available to buy is not as extreme as the increase of buyer demand. One of the reasons for that is Greater Calgarians have heard the call, and we are continuing to put historically high amount of homes on the market, so far well surpassing the year-to-date figures over the last 10 years. But year-to-date sales continue to have an upper hand. And for this reason, that so far in 2022 and specifically in February, we saw prices rise significantly. Our benchmark sales price has increased by $36,000 so far this year, and $27,000 of that was experienced right in month of February. That's a 6% increase month over month alone. It is another wow moment for all of us to take the note of. As impressive as it is being led by our detached market, which have seen a nearly $50,000 benchmark price increase this year alone. But increases are being seen in all markets. Detached 90% year over year, apartments up 4.5%, semi-detached up 16%, and row houses are up 13%. To me, we have hit the perfect storm so far in 2022. We have seen an unprecedented increase in buyer demand for this time of the year that has even come to the scene before we have even up to the full speed with the major parts of our listings for the spring. So the market has been super tight. Our days on market is 25, which is way down for 45 only 1 year ago. And our months of supply is down all the way to 1.1, again down from 2.5 at the same time last year. But let me just explain what even months of supply mean and how does it compare. Well, let's put it this way, that we would consider seller's market anything that has less than 2 months of supply, and we are sitting at 1.1 all across the board. But I want to say this, that we are building the inventory. We have over 1,000 more homes on the market right now than just 28 days ago. So I predict that as we transition into a true spring market, things will remain very well into seller's market territory, though we may not see the same number of multiple offers or the same number of sold in 1 day with no condition situations, or even the same number of showings per property as we have seen so far this year. This would be a good news for everyone, and certainly would help buyers trying to get into the market. And it will help us to keep a nice and controlled growth in our housing sector, rather than having just one teasing world of a bubble. Now, what is my advice to you? This market is here to stay, and here to stay for a long time. As we transition into true spring market, things will remain very well into seller's market territory. This graph may seem like a lot, but that is telling us only one thing. Actually, how Calgary is cheap right now. In relation to all other Canadian metro cities, our housing price index is the lowest. This means that for our income here in Calgary, the cost of housing is the lowest of all major cities. This was the case back in 2005, and it is why we essentially doubled our housing price in a short 3 years to catch up with the rest of Canada. Due to our market dropping for the better part of the last 7 years, while the rest of Canada rose, we are again too cheap, and we have nowhere to go but up. As you can see in this graph, the gap between us at the bottom and the rest of Canada is significant, and it is going to take years and years to get somewhere close. Calgary has way too much going for it with our constantly diversifying economy, with our quality of life, our proximity to the mountains, and our currently strong oil and gas economy to stay this far behind our peers. So I believe that the gap will close, which means that we will continue to see positive increases in our housing values. We will continue to see buyer demand from our own, from those moving here from other provinces, and those internationally. There is no doubt that. But it won't happen all now. It won't happen all this year, and it will probably won't all happen in the next few years. But we as Calgarians will be seeing positivity for a while. So if you need to buy right now and write this up knowing you will continue to benefit. If you need to sell or considering it, sell but stay in the market so you don't lose buying power as the market appreciates. If you want to invest now, because it is only going to get more expensive and it will never be this cheap again. And if you don't want to do any of these above, then don't. Sit back and smile while your net growth grows faster from your housing than increases in our current Canadian inflation, and much better than our stock performance. Now, if you're sitting back and want to access some equity, get a home equity line of credit or refinance. That is a great time to sit down with your favorite lender too. It will be a great time to pull the most money out, indeed, if you need it. Again, if you want to hear more about this, book a time with me to chart your path forward for your unique scenario. It is my hope that this information provided you with what you need to know about present state of our market, but also give you a confidence that yes, we are in this for a long haul, and real estate in Greater Calgary is very, very safe place to be. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.